so it definitely sounds like something's loose on the subframe.
Mice have been in here.
It still locks up.
That cover didn't do a thing, did it? The heat has finally died down in California and track days are starting up again, so I'm gonna get back to work on the Yaris. I really haven't even taken the cover off of it in a while, so there's a few things that need to be addressed. Today, I'm gonna get serious. I've been buying the same brake pads for this since I started tracking it, and now I'm gonna be moving to some really serious track pads. I'm also going to redo some stuff about the oil cooler as well as the pressure and temperature sensors to try and get more accurate results. And hopefully there aren't a bunch of other things that I forgot since I've put this under a cover. So let's get to it.
The first thing is that this cover didn't really work. My car is covered in so much pollen that must have blown up underneath the cover. To get to the brakes, I need to lift the car and take off the front wheels. Changing brake pads is a really good project for a first timer. It's really easy to do. All you need to do is remove one of these bolts holding on the caliper and loosen the other. Now it can swing away like a hinge and you can get to your actual brake pads.
Okay, so these are the pads I had. This is my second set of Hawk HPS pads. The first set that I had lasted me about 2 years. These have lasted me like 3 track days. I guess that actually means that I'm getting faster because I'm using more brake and I'm asking more of my brakes. There's not much left of these guys. These are the new ones that I've got. They are G-Lock pads. Race ready pads. They come pre-bedded, which is pretty good because I've heard that bedding these are a pain in the butt. And ooh, there's a lot of material there. But B, these are what most people are using in like B-spec on the Toyota Yaris and the Honda Fit and the Mini Cooper and things like that. These are R10 compound, which is kind of the middle ground of what they make. Most people who are running G-Lock pads are running competition slicks. So this is definitely a lot of braking force. Hopefully this is going to be something that is actually usable for me and not over-braked and I can't get the temperature into it. We'll see.
The rest of the install is pretty straightforward. I did put some anti-seize on these pads to stop them from squeaking, even though they are totally gonna squeak because they're track pads.
Okay, the brakes are in and now I'm gonna focus on a little bit of wiring and I'm gonna get to that oil system and kind of redo the oil sensors and hopefully get some better results. So I definitely screwed up with the Yaris storage-wise. This did not fare well over the summer break. It got pretty covered in pollen even though it was under a cover. Dust in the engine bay, dust everywhere, cobwebs, and found some evidence of mice inside the cabin because it doesn't have windows. I took them out because I wanted to be lighter. Kind of regretting that. My front bumper is also a little warped because it was shoved into the back of the car and not actually on the front of the car. Honestly, I wanted to replace this front bumper anyway because it still has the cutouts from the dinghy tow setup, which I can't use anymore because of the LSD. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing that before going to Button Willow in 2 weeks. Guess I gotta do that.
But right now we're going to focus on shortening these oil lines. Currently I have an oil filter relocation kit and I don't really need it, so I'm going to replace it with this sandwich plate. Even though the oil has only been in for a few track days, I still have to drain it to replace these lines. Then it's just a matter of disconnecting all the AN fittings and removing about 7 feet of oil line. The filter is also in a really inconvenient spot. Pretty much every time I change it, I'm gonna get oil all over my engine bay. the sandwich plate in, replacing the filter is going to be a lot easier during oil changes, and my oil lines are a lot shorter. This does lower my overall oil capacity, but there are less connections and less mess. It also means that my oil temperature sensor is closer to the actual engine, giving me more accurate results. Okay, so we're pretty much done for today. I've got a track day in 2 weeks, and I don't have much time within those 2 weeks to do much more. But we have new brakes. We have our sandwich plate put on with our pressure sensor, our oil pressure sensor. I put a bung in instead of the oil temperature sensor because I'm gonna do a different setup and a different gauge for that coming up in the future. So if you want an oil temp gauge, hit me up. The next track day is at Buttonwillow, and I have a very specific goal in mind for this little Yaris. Before the LSD, before the new final drive, and before these RT660s, it ran a 213. I have run in my FRS a 209. My goal for the end of the year at Buttonwillow is to get to a 208. Hopefully that is possible with a basically stock 1NZ FE. If I need more power, that's a whole other rabbit hole that we'd have to go down. I think we've got the parts to do it. It's just a matter of me sticking to it and being good enough. But Buttonwillow is not happening yet. First, I'm gonna go check out how these brakes do. Okay. So it definitely sounds like something's loose on the subframe. I'm gonna have to address that. This is the problem with putting your car in storage for so long, is like you completely forget the little issues that you knew it had, and then I need to be better about making a list. All right, brakes. Okay, I have brakes. Let's see if I can use them to stop extra hard. Okay, no one's behind me. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. All right. Well, the tires aren't warmed up, but that was definitely lockup. Okay, that's better. Still locks up. So it's a completely new feel of the brakes and of the tires that I need to get used to. I ran Hankook RS4s for like 2 years, and I've only run these RT660s on 2 track days, so I'm still just getting used to these, and now I have a completely different brake feel to go along with it. So feeling the tires, feeling the brakes, I'm communicating with this car in a completely different way now. It's all the ingredients for me to get better, faster lap times, but it's probably not gonna be the fastest out the box because I'm gonna have to get used to it. But this car should be at least ready to go, set down some laps, do some learning. If I can get used to the car in sessions 1 and 2, maybe by 3 and 4, I can start going for that faster lap time that I'd like to get to. 213 is my old record. 210 I know is totally possible with the new setup. 208 is the goal. So let's see if we can do that at Buttonwillow in the next video.